Are you a musician trapped indoors with no one to play to? Here's how you can. This is how you can set up a music stream. So, you are a full-time musician or a busker and COVID-19 hits. What do? You either work on music to release or you decide to take up streaming. This video will guide you through the process of setups and how you can improve them over time. For streaming music, all you need are the following things: a computer or a laptop, a camera, a microphone, and the streaming software of your choice. Personally, for streaming, I switch between XSplit Broadcaster and SLOBS OBS, both having their perks and their disadvantages. For example, you have XSplit Broadcaster, which is an incredible streaming tool where you can make different shaped cameras. It has a simple layout and the ability of having multiple sources of the same camera on multiple different scenes. It also runs pretty damn smoothly on lower end PCs and laptops, so if you're starting from scratch, I'd recommend that. Alternatively, you could use SLOBS OBS, which is another very cool piece of software. In SLOBS, you have access to a bunch of things you wouldn't in XSplit. For example, you have a built-in chat and an alert system so you can see your recent followers, hosts, donations, or subscribers. Then there's also the Pro subscription, where you can get a bunch of customizable and pre-made overlays, alerts, starting BRB and ending screens. It also takes a bit more power to run, so I wouldn't recommend it on slower systems. Now we've had a look into streaming softwares, let's have a look into a basic music stream setup. What I personally would call a basic stream setup is simple: a camera, a USB microphone, and you. This setup is how I started streaming and how I did for a good 2 to 3 years, before I decided to actually upgrade my setup to make better quality of live streams. This is how myself and my old setup looked and sounded. In the sky of a million stars, it flickers, flickers. Who cares when someone's time runs out? If a moment is all we are, we're quicker, quicker. Who cares if one more light goes out? Well, I do. You can see it wasn't the greatest of setups. My levels also were not set correctly, so make sure you dive into that properly. To view your levels and set them correctly, right click on the volume button on your taskbar, then click open volume mixer, then hit system sounds. Next, you want to navigate to the recording tab, as by default it opens on the sounds tab. What you now want to do is select your microphone and hit properties. Here you'll see 5 tabs: General, Listen, Levels, Enhancements, and Advanced. Where we need to go is Levels. In the Levels tab, you can change and alter your volume of your microphone depending on what it sounds like. To know what volume your mic is, review a recording of you singing part of a song and playing your guitar with a song where you get pretty loud. In that way you can get a pretty good representation of what it would sound like quieter, because if it distorts then you need to turn it down, but if it sounds okay and it doesn't sound too loud and choppy on the high end, then you should be all good to go. Personally, I would test in minus 10 dB increments, so go from 100 to 90 to 80, etc, etc. This is what I did for my current setup and it went pretty well. Do you remember when I said I upgraded my setup to better the quality of life for my stream? This is what I did. I bought an XLR microphone and an audio interface. For my microphone, I chose a Rode NT1 XLR microphone from Rode Mics. For this, I needed to buy a boom arm to go onto my desk, as it didn't come with the microphone itself. But what I did get was a shock mount with an attached pop filter along with an XLR lead. For my interface, I opted for the Behringer Euphoria UMC 202 HD, which I still use to this day for my gaming streams, and I use the mic as well, and the interface too. Is it worth upgrading? To put it plainly, yes. I would even recommend doing this first. knowing the path I've been down over the years and the amount of time I've been doing this, coming up on 9 years. Having an XLR microphone brings your audio quality up by a lot already from just having a regular USB microphone. It's also so much easier to control your levels as you have a volume dial for each of the inputs depending on which one your microphone's in. The one downfall I have is it records in stereo by default in Windows 7, but there is a way to fix that. To fix the Windows 7 issue, follow the how can I change my level section of this video. But instead of navigating to levels, hit advanced and change your default format from 2 channels to 1. On Windows 10, it should be done by default. Or Windows 10, it should be done by default. But if in SLOBS or XSplit you're having some issues, do the following. If you're having the issue on Streamlabs OBS, then navigate to the settings in the bottom left corner. Then navigate to audio and change the channel section from stereo to mono. If you're having the issue in XSplit, navigate to tools, then settings, hit audio, and under microphone mono mix, either copy left to right or right to left, depending on which socket you have your microphone plugged into. Let's recap. So what we've learned so far is the difference between a basic starter setup being just a USB microphone and a medium setup where you have an XLR and an interface. Next we'll talk about an advanced setup which includes a 16 input and a door. But before we do that, consider hitting that like button, and when we're done here, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video and if it helped you in any way possible. If you have enjoyed the video so far and you want to see my advanced setup in action, I'm live on Twitch 5 days a week, and you can find my schedule over on my Discord server or alternatively on my social pages. Now we've recapped, we're now onto the big boy setups. This includes multiple cameras and a whopping 16 input audio interface. Obviously, if you only have an 8, that is completely fine, but that's just what I have personally. The interface I have is a Tascam 16x8, which is pretty much 16 inputs, 8 outputs. There's volume dials for each channel and an overall headphone volume, which is amazing for on-the-go tweaks, and it's all great. Considering I use a Mac, I have to route the audio through a little differently to someone using it on a Windows door or a Windows PC. I pretty much have this 5-star with 3 leads in. This is how it works. So this lead here goes from the Tascam through to here. Then I plug my headphones in, and then this lead goes from the 5-star into the back of my PC. All of the setups in this video compared, I set them in order of my opinion. My basic setup was aimed at starters, people that are learning instruments and that want to show their progress as they learn an instrument or learn how to sing. My medium setup was aimed at those of you who sort of know what you're doing, but you want to get better sound and just get overall better quality. And last but not least, my last one is for people who want to take it to the next step, where you can have multiple microphone inputs and you can have multiple guitars, and it's endless. Endless possibilities. Plus you can also have a door with a 16 input. You could do it with the medium one, but personally I prefer the bigger one, especially if it's higher quality than the one. I hope you guys learned something from this video guide, and I can't wait to see you guys up and running and streaming soon. If you guys need any advice or any questions, feel free to hop in my Discord server where you can ask me questions in a more chilled environment, and you can also send me videos of you singing, and I can try and give you some tips from my personal experiences. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to turn your notifications on, and until next time, have a great day, take care, stay safe, stay unique, and until next time guys, adios, much love y'all.